Meanwhile, you're always about women's business, always talking about the sisters, always talking to the sisters. They've got mahrams, they've got walis, they've got their guardians, and it isn't you. I mean, I hate to use their terminology, but this is about the most beta thing you can possibly do. Always in the women's section. And the irony is that these are the same ones who are endlessly droning on and on about masculinity. Meanwhile, you can't do the basic thing, the most basic thing that men do as men, which is to ignore women. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean that in an obnoxious way, but women have their world, their sphere, and men have their world and their sphere. But meanwhile, you're always trying to weasel your way into the sphere of women, under the guise of nasiha, under the guise of advice. But you're just like a peeping Tom who's trying to justify why he's doing what he's doing by saying that you're just trying to check up on the sisters to make sure that they're safe. No, it's not your business. The men are over here, brother. Meanwhile, you keep sliding your way back to where the sisters are. And this is very disrespectful. It's very insulting to their walis. I mean, let's take this offline, Let me catch you on the street talking to my wife or talking to my sisters about how they shouldn't go out, or they shouldn't go to the gym, or they shouldn't go to school, or you don't like the way they're dressed, or what have you. I wish you would. You better hope that red pill you took is a painkiller, because you're going to be dancing cheek to cheek with the concrete. Yeah.
Get your life, baby. I got mine, why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life. Get your life, baby. I got mine, why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life. Run up when you see me, no disguises. Keep that thing with me, cause I don't do surprises. J Chanel, show and tell, all facts, no lies, streak. Get your life, cause I'm the type to come to it that 9 quick. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, where the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, baby. I got mine, why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life. Get your life, baby. I got mine, why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life.
Focus there.
Watch them cause they after me like a pot of gold. I'm not for play, ask Keisha if you don't know. I'm a little bit cray-cray, approach me, you better be right. If you don't come correctly, you can catch these cans tonight. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, where the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle's so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, baby. I got mine, why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life.
Get your life.
Get your life, baby. I got mine, why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life.
Get your life, boo.
Good morning, good evening, good night, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's your nighttime, right time DJ Music here with another episode of the Chop Shop. Y'all give me a winner or two down in the listening lounge if you folks can hear me loud and clear so we can get this thing kicking on off here. I'm not going to hold you up too much there today, ladies and gentlemen. Got a special guest hanging out here with me, a man from the radio station that does his shows. Actually, he'll be live a little bit later on. DJ Dreadhead said, appreciate that, Miss J. Lynn. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, folks, y'all see what it's about. I'll bring in Said and a few guests in here in just a minute, but y'all see what the topic is going to be about today. Chop Shop Reviews, Black Fatigue. It's been hijacked already. Already, some folks is asking, what is Black Fatigue? Hey, Shar, how you doing? What is Black Fatigue? Is it the fact that could it possibly be that black folks are tired of white folks' excuses about racism, about this, about that? But for some reason or the other, we got white folks and we got some loose niggas that has decided to say that we as black folks, the black fatigue that we're talking about is just like they say, black on black crime. It's all about black on blacks. It's all about black folks. It's all about how they treat each other. That's what y'all tired of. Y'all ain't really tired of, hey, Bridget M., how you doing? Hey, Taylor, how you doing? Y'all ain't really tired of white folks and how they treat you bad. What you tired of is how black folks treat you and how black folks treat each other. That's what y'all complaining about. You got folks like Angryman Anton Daniels and some of these other high-profile content creators, all under the guise that they know what the fuck they talking about. Black Fatigue, folks. It was a book. It was written by a black woman. It was a book talking about how can we bridge the gap from white America to black America as far as racism is concerned. That's what the book was about. But yet, you got dumb niggas like Anton Daniels. You got dumb niggas like Angryman talking about it's all about the dark-skinned people. When I was in school, the dark-skinned people treated me bad. They wouldn't let me play basketball and other kind of bullshit like that. Then you got white TikTokers talking about if y'all can call us whitey, we got every right to call you N-word. And let's be real about this. How many brothers or sisters y'all know running around using Peckerwood, whitey, trailer park trans? How many of y'all hear that come out of the average black person's mouth every day? I know I don't. But anyway, folks, without further ado, let me introduce my guest today, my man, DJ Dreadhead Said. What's going on, Said? How you living, brother?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can hear you loud and clear. How you doing?
All right, that's good. I'm doing great. How you doing?
Good. Listen, I'm going to take a plug from Dr. Richie. I don't want to assume what you know about or what you've been hearing about this thing called Black Fatigue.
I've been hearing about it from the YouTube channels, but I'm definitely going to look into it. But I know definitely it's a lot of white fatigue going on as well. So
I think it might be breaking up just a little bit, but we're definitely going to get into it. We're definitely get into it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to start this off with a clip from TYT, Dr. Richie. I like the man. He's fair, he's balanced, and he points out the obvious that some of you niggas refuse to see. So we're going to start there. Let me take this off the screen here. Take this off the screen. Get this off the screen here. Hope everybody's having a great week so far and had a great and prosperous weekend. You got what you wanted, did what you wanted to do, but some of y'all got to take your black asses back to work today, don't you? You know, it's that BIM company. Be your ass in Mississippi on Monday. Have your black ass ready to pick cotton on Tuesday. That's the kind of dude that we're going to talk about. That's the kind of dude that I see as Angryman. I see that is Anton Daniels. Yassa bosses. Smiling, classing, dancing, buck breaking, buck dancing in front of white folks. Repeating their same words so they can feel like they can fit in. Yeah, remove this. Let's bring up our first clip there, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Here is Dr. Richie from TYT Networks.
the term black fatigue to describe their racism. Here it is.
The woman who called a 5-year-old a racial slur. My first impression after watching the video, a little bit of white trash. I have to be honest, the kid was 5. I have worked with 5-year-olds for the last 15 years. Absolutely everything they do is out of pocket. They're like little unhinged drunk people. Nothing they do.
Here's a white lady on the screen right here, right now. Because see, I'm not talking about all white folks. I'm talking about these particular white folks that we're going to cover. These trailer park tramps. She said, out of her own mouth, that, you know, little 5 years old, they do steal. They do steal. You think they were talking about little white 5-year-old kids? No holds barred today, folks. They don't mind talking shit about us, so I'm not gonna mind talking shit about them. Let the bullets fly where they may. Let the rocks land where they land. Say it. You think a 5-year-old could steal? Knowingly? Can't hear you, bro. If you're speaking, I can't hear you. But let's continue on with this. Sid, I think you might need to work on your microphone, because if you're talking, I can't hear you.
It makes sense. A 5-year-old is capable of rifling through somebody's bag and taking things that don't belong to them. Ask any kindergarten teacher. But I realize why so many people are wanting to defend this, because black fatigue is real. I think society as a whole is there. We are just so unbelievably fed up with the ghetto ratchet behavior, entitlement, the victimhood, that they want to praise this woman. But what she did is not praiseworthy. But also on the same hand, please remember that every day that us white people get on this app, we get called racial slurs every single day. So if you don't want to be called a racial slur, you also have to stop calling people racial slurs. You can't talk out of both sides of your mouth.
I have more videos. She's not the only one.
She's not the only one.
Trending under black fatigue. Here it is.
If I'm not allowed to blame you for all of my life's problems, then you're not allowed to blame me for yours.
When I first got on, before I got on TikTok, I thought that racism was only white people being racist.
How could you think that, lady?
I was so wrong.
How could you think that? I don't think none of y'all that's speaking so far understand what the term racism means. I don't think that you understand what you folks are describing is prejudice, a preconceived notion. Racism is a whole different animal. And you can argue the point all you want to, but show me a black racist person. Racism meaning that me as a black man or you as a black woman can determine where you live, how you live, and why you live. Speak that to me. Speak that. Then we can talk about racism. Say it, are you back? Can you hear? Say it. And if you're speaking again, brother, I still can't hear you. So I'll go ahead and continue.
It makes me sad because there are so many black people that are racist, and this black fatigue, it's real. We're tired of it. All these dear white women, dear white people.
Black fatigue is real. Everybody is tired of black people, but it's two specific types.
Now, again, absolutely right, Taylor. Racist against who? And see, here's the problem right here. When you get these yassa bosses, cooning ass Uncle Toms on the screen and co-sign what these white folks just said, and I'm not going to call them white folks, what these racist white folks just said. You get coons like this who thinks because he go put on a $2 pair of shades and put on a bright yellow tank top, he speaks for all black America. You don't speak for me, brother. I can tell you that right now. And that's a valid point, Taylor. Who are they being racist to? That's a valid point.
Of black people that everyone is tired of. Number one, everybody is tired of loud, ghetto, and ratchet, and violent, and mean, and angry all the time. Everybody is tired of them. Nobody wants to deal with them. Even other black people do not want to deal with these people. You know when you see them in public, you know when they're going to give you attitude at the CVS. Everybody knows it, and they want to avoid it.
Well, why don't you go and scream at some of them Karens? And why don't you tell the rest of white America that don't run around being Karens that we tired of y'all? That's what we're tired of. I'm going to throw black fatigue at you. We're tired as a black man walking down the street, and all of a sudden some white lady can pop out and say, hey, that was him. And I'm getting my ass whipped. Just no more than 7 months ago. Y'all can go check this out. Hey, HT Ball 1. You can go 7 months ago and go type in Phoenix officers beat deaf man. And I think he had cerebral palsy. Go see what the two officers, white officers, did to this black man. That's what we are tired of. We're tired of Karen fatigue. Absolutely right. That's what I'm tired of. I'm tired of redneck fatigue. That's what I'm tired of. I'm tired of white folks and thinking they got a right to. That's what I'm tired of. That's what the black fatigue is about.
Second group of black people that everybody is tired of is this sort of like fake black bougie intelligentsia who kind of like walks around telling everybody how they're supposed to think or speak or act when it comes to anything black. These are the most privileged black people in the world. These people have built enormous platforms and have so much money, and yet they are still perpetual victims all the time.
Who? Hey, Zahara, how you doing? How you doing?
That was Rob Smith.
Yeah, we all know his name, Rob Smith. Sid, you want to touch on that?
You know, somebody asked the question of who they was being racist towards, and I think they're being racist towards themselves.
It's that guilt. See,
Yeah.
It's the guilt. They can't stomach their own guilt. That's what it is. That's what they're tired of. They're tired of hearing black people say, look, this is what you are. This is what you are. In my generation, y'all told us, the generation that I grew up in, y'all told us that y'all was going to be better than your parents. You're not. The generation before my parents, y'all told us that y'all was going to be better than your parents. You're not. The current generation right now told us that y'all were going to be better than your parents. You're not. You absolutely aren't. Because just like Taylor said, you can go into any store across America, and all a white person has to say is, I think he's stealing. And see how many cops show up. Right. Hey, a loser with a yellow tank top on. First of all, I may wear a yellow tank top, but it's usually if I'm playing basketball, and that's the team colors. Say it.
Well, you know what? I've seen this brother on quite a few YouTube videos, especially it's one YouTube commentator that I like. Her name is Tabitha Brown, and she highlighted him once on how he was cooning so hard for MAGA. Same guy.
Mm-hmm.
And how after Trump won, they cooned on him.
And then complained about it.
He's still holding their water.
And he's still carrying water for him. He made a post talking about how MAGA turned on him. This is his way of trying to get back in. Look at him over here. Yeah, shit. Do the letters FAFO mean anything to you, Rob Smith? You're gonna fuck around and find out.
Yeah, he's not getting back in. Look, the white MAGA, they got other problems now. Believe me, he is not one of them.
And you're right there, HT Ball. When Ron DeSantis started making all this noise about DEI and being woke, remember his famous statement, Florida is where woke comes to die. Erykah Badu said it best. He wasn't talking about woke. He was talking about black people. Information Man Show. How you doing, good brother? How you doing? Listen, folks, I always like to shout out the content creators that I frequent, and I would suggest all you folks to go over to the Information Man Show, check out his live streams, check out his posts, check out his what do you call it, the shorts. He's always on point. Big shout out to you, Information Man. Big shout out to you.
Yeah, I'm checking him out right now.
Rob Smith, while talking against black people, is somehow a victim of black people. He is just as ridiculous in real life as he was on that short video segment of himself. You can actually check it out. I debated him. It was a while ago. He never came back on the program. Rob, I welcome you to come back anytime, dear brother. We can debate this.
No, he don't want
if you would like.
Dr. Richie, I saw that interview. He don't want no parts of you. Believe me. And when they get into that, he does that segment called the bullpen. No holds barred. No holds barred. So again, folks, another one of those brothers out there that I'd like you to follow. I'd like you to go check out his information when he puts it out. Is this guy right here, Dr. Richie of TYT Networks. Said anything you want to add before I push this play button here, brother?
Oh no, I check out Dr. Richie all the time. He's one of my favorites because you know he gets to the point and he tells the truth and he tells it like it is.
Indeed, indeed.
Please don't wear that ugly ass tank top when you come. All right. There are some people that actually know what black fatigue means, the origin of it, and they responded. Here it is.
My mutual Marie made a video talking about black fatigue, and I wanted to piggyback off what she was saying. Because it's wild to me how non-black people swear up and down they're just so tired of black people. Tired of hearing about racism and anti-blackness. Tired of being called out. Tired of black voices, black issues, black content, yada, yada, yada. Just so tired. But somehow y'all are never too tired or fatigued to steal from them. And you weren't even too fatigued to steal the term black fatigue.
Thank you. Thank you for this. This is incredible information. And
you heard what she said? Those folks weren't too tired to even steal the word black fatigue. Because there is a book that was written, and the title is Black Fatigue. And they stole that. Like they said, I didn't say this, and I heard this a long time ago. Folks, y'all hear the thunder rolling in. Of course, I'm in South Carolina, and this is the thunderstorm season. So for some reason or the other, we get cut off. You know the power went out. Our power lines are still above ground out here. But the only thing that white folks created was the patent office. This was a book. White folks hijacked that. But we're going to cover that too.
I had never actually heard of the term, but I'm like, this makes sense. Like, what else could black fatigue mean other than black fatigue, right? So for now, black fatigue to go viral on this app and have it mean like what one racist white woman said about how she's tired of hearing about black people talk about racism is maybe the most like ironically disgusting, dehumanizing, hateful of this term.
Madam, you're a damn genius. Out of all of the commentary, you stopped and you said maybe black fatigue means black fatigue.
And nothing
it's
more.
A book, Mary Frances Winters. Put it up, full mass.
There it is right there, folks. That's the book. And on the moniker that I put out, I put a copy of it. Also, there's a link to where if you want to, you can actually go buy the book. Read it up. I do believe it's on Amazon. I think you can even get it as a book that you can listen to. Audiobook. This is what they're talking about. This is what this part of white America is saying that they're tired of. They're tired of us as black people speaking about the injustices throughout the history of America. That's what they say that they're tired of. Say it.
I got white fatigue.
Gosh. I've been had it. I've been had it, Sid. I've been had it. It's exhausting sometimes.
It's crazy because you know, we complain about equality and equal rights and fair wages, fair jobs, opportunities. And it's crazy because when I hear white people say these things, and I watch a lot of YouTube, so I see a lot of stuff. And then when I see white people saying these things, it just really kind of puts me in a whole different place because, this country was built on the backs of black people.
Can't argue that point.
You know, a lot of wealth was built on the backs of black people. A lot of generational wealth was built on the backs of black people.
Absolutely.
And when I turned on the news the other day and seen that plantation on fire, oh, I got happy. I was ecstatic.
Right. Be honest. One of the oldest plantations in America, if y'all do not know, burnt to the ground the other day. To me, that's called for celebration. If you believe in the souls being released from their captors, the souls of our ancestors was released when that plantation burned down.
Yes,
if you go throughout the history of what they called Germany, they say that you can't find any statues of Hitler anywhere. No quaint reminders of what Hitler did to the Jewish folks.
Can't even mention his name in Germany. And
Right. But here, especially in the South, we got high schools named after folks. We got streets named after folks. We got all kinds of shit named after folks that either owned us or didn't want us to be a part of this system that they call the United States of America.
You know, it's funny because when I lived in Georgia, I used to drive a truck for delivering cabinets to new homes and, you know, people that bought cabinets.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked on my order form, and there's actually a Jim Crow road. I can't remember the name of the town, but it's in Georgia. You can probably find it if you Google it if you Google it or something. And that freaked me out because I'm like, man, they still got the sign up. Like, and me as a black person, believe me, I was like the only black person in the town. So
right, like nothing, like there's nothing to it. Right, you're absolutely right, Sage. You go up into some of those towns, you still see those little figures they call lawn jockeys all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Me as a landscaper, if someone calls me to their property and they say, I want you to do this, and if I see one of them lawn jockeys, no, I can't. No, ma'am. Thank you. Or no, sir. Thank you for the offer, but no, I'll turn you down.
Yeah, and a lot of the properties down there still got the name plantation right behind whatever the name it is.
Absolutely. You come down here to Charleston, South Carolina, you got Boone Hall Plantation, you got Drayton Plantation, you got Ashley Plantation, and this is part of what the field trips that they have for the younger school kids. Every year, there's a school kid that goes to the old slave market, to Charlestown Landing, or to one of the plantations. That's the information that they give our young kids around here. That's the information. Black fatigue, huh?
Let's talk about the 2020 Mary Frances Winters Black Fatigue book, best-selling author. How Racism Erodes the Mind, Body, and Spirit is what the book posits. Mary Frances Winters writes, Black fatigue is a vital resource for Black and non-Black people who are looking for ways to heal, learn, and have productive and supportive conversations about racial injustice and trauma. To move forward, we need to know where we came from and where we are. Black fatigue is the foundation from which we can begin to imagine a better world together. The book highlights the history of white supremacist, racist systems that led to Black intergenerational fatigue. It focuses on the impact of Black fatigue on Blacks and on Black society. The racist system is not just literally killing Black people, it's tearing the nation apart. And that's the dynamic that so many of our brothers and sisters who don't quite look like me precisely miss. And it is up to the brothers and sisters who get it, who are our allies in this fight, to educate them as well. Because there is no, this is what I stand by when a student is bullied because of racism. Obviously that student, that Black student, brown student, etc., that student is a victim, yes. But the educators who allow the white students to do so are in a way also making those white students victims too. These are all children and they should be taught, and they deserve better than adults who would allow that kind of culture to permeate in the school system. So everybody loses is her point in the book when racism prevails. All right, Jack's thoughts here.
That's what the book is about, folks. And that's the underlining tone of this book, that everybody loses on racism, not only black folks, but white folks as well. And I keep saying this over and over and over. Folks talking about, well, racism was dead back in 40 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. Oh, really? Well, when's the last time you broke out your recipe book and wrote down what your grandma, the recipe grandma taught you? Or when's the last time that you used a quote that you heard your grandfather saying? So how you going to tell me that racism, just like anything else, is not passed down from generation to generation? Because it is. See it?
I agree. Totally. And, I was thinking about something when you was talking about the grandparents and stuff, because, I used to have a conversation with my grandfather. Mm-hmm. And my grandfather, he was kind of Muslim, but he wasn't, you know what I'm saying? But he used to tell me all the time, he say, look, the reason why you see white people promoting racism and everything is because they know their day is coming. He said he knows that their day is coming to the point where they're not going to be able to run nothing no more. And you can kind of see that's going on now with, the deportation of the Latinos or the immigrants and the importation of these South African Afrikaners that they bring it over here. And I think, man, you had the conversation yesterday that, a lot of people is not really paying attention to the reason why they are bringing those people over here. And it's not for what you think. What they bringing the people over here for is so that they can start repopulating the white race, because those people is not going to mess with nobody but their own. And when them babies are born, they are going to be considered white.
This is very true, Sid, and that's part of the conversation that we were having. And to me, as a Black American or as a brown American or a Japanese American, I would feel kind of slighted if I was trying to come to the land of opportunity and I'm getting told no based on my skin color, because we all know that they're talking about we got to stop the influx of the migrants from the southern border, but yet you don't mind them bringing in a whole busload and busloads and busloads of South Africans. White South Africans.
That's why. Because this has always been the plan. That was the reason why the abortion. Believe me, I tell people this all the time. They don't care if Black women have abortions. They don't care if Hispanic women have abortions, if Asian women have abortions. They do care if white women have abortions. And that's the reason why they went through the lengths that they went through to get Roe v. Wade overturned. Mm-hmm. So when they realized that it pissed off a lot of people, this was the backup plan. So, these people is getting what they voted for.
Absolutely. And I think the conversation I was having with some other folks, I think one of the reasons to why we getting so much hell about it now is it's in the news so much is because some white folks did not think that what the Trump regime was doing was going to affect them.
Right.
They thought it was just going to affect the dark folks, people from immigrants and stuff like that, until they started taking them jobs from them. Until they started saying, well, now you ain't got no reason to not have babies because you don't have a job no more. So we're going to put you back where you're supposed to be, at home, barefoot and pregnant, having babies. Nick Fuentes told y'all white women this best. Your body, my choice. That's what Nick Fuentes told you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to our next clip here, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all check this out. Listen to this.
By these samples of these races, of this whole black fatigue, I find it absolutely hysterical. Because in the same week that they're talking about little black fatigue, we had a woman go on national television and say she was a racist. In the same week that they talk about black fatigue, we had a woman, a single mother, who had a history of DUIs, fighting in public, call a little black kid the N-word. In the same week, that same woman has raised almost nearly $1 million for calling the little black kid an N-word. In the same week they talk about black fatigue, we had a man who was pulled over by the California Highway Patrol come out of his car with an AR-15 walking towards police officers. In the same week, we had 2 little white boys.
Now, let me stop that right there. What do y'all, as Black Americans, as African Americans, or whatever you decide to call yourself, what do you think would have happened to you, male or female, if you would have walked out your car towards a police officer? What do you think would have happened to you, Sid?
With AR-15?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it would have went down.
Who would have went down?
Went down. I would have went down, but I guarantee he probably would have went down too. Because if I had to use it, I was going to use it.
Yes, sir. In a hail of bullets. Just the other week, in this same time, in this same news cycle, folks, we had Rodney Hinton unaliving someone because his son was unalived by these same type policemen that believe that they had a right to. That the reason why they decided to be judge, jury, and executioner is because this kid stole a car, or supposedly, allegedly stole a car. But here it is. We see a white man get out of his car with a AR-15 with a magazine in place. Not one shot fired.
I didn't see that, but I was wondering, was he arrested or anything? Or
not? He was arrested, yes, eventually, but not
okay.
one shot fired. Not one shot fired. Not one.
For pointing a gun at police as they all spent like 5 hours trying to get the kids to put the gun down. This is in the same week they talk about black fatigue. Now, I've never seen an officer do that for a little black kid. In the same week, we had a teacher who was charged, multiple teachers who were charged with messing with the kids. In the same week they talked about black fatigue, we just recently had a father completely send his whole family to the afterlife. And they talking about black fatigue. Riddle me this, Batman. What fatigue, based off of the events that I just told you that happened within this week, what fatigue do you think the country should have? I don't know, call me crazy, but I've never in the history of this country come across the expression of white fatigue. Isn't that interesting? And I've never heard someone come out and say, you know what I have? I have white fatigue. That's what I have. All the things that's happening, now you coming up with black fatigue?
Indeed. Say that again, Sid. This clip was from actually just a couple of days ago. So, but he's right though. When you hear the word, have y'all ever heard of white fatigue mentioned before? I know I never have. But there is such a term called white fatigue. And what white fatigue actually is, it is white people say that they are tired of black people complaining about being labeled or being not being able to get their jobs, not being able to have this, not being able to do this, and not be able to do that. And that explains white fatigue. That they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear black people complain. Because this is a different time now. We had a black president. We got black lawmakers. So black people ain't got shit to complain about. See it?
I've been saying this for a long time. Black people have always had white fatigue. It's just never been coined in that phrase. But now that it's out in the open, it's all about, it's the racism. It's the fact that they put our faces on everything that they want to cut because they know that's what pisses people off. And that goes back to your point that you was making earlier about how, they're using all of this to kind of, I can't think of the words that I'm trying to phrase it as, but it'll come to me. So excuse me on that one, y'all folks. Sorry about that.
No worries.
But it's it's everything that they do, because with white people, it's always race. It's always race because they put our faces on everything. So you looking at like the food stamps, the EBT. You're looking at Section 8. You're looking at Social Security. You know what I'm saying? And what do they say? Well, they don't so much say it for Social Security as they do for Section 8 and EBT, but they got black and Hispanic faces on there when the vast majority of the people that get them programs are white. And now that they're trying to cut those programs out, you are finna see white people step out like never before and bitch and complain and probably even, go through extraordinary means because y'all messing with their money. Now y'all messing with their livelihoods.
Yeah.
And that was the point I was trying to make. The point I was trying to make was that it was all good when they thought it was going to be the black and the brown people, getting singled out. And they was like, okay, well, I'm white, so I'm safe.
Sure.
And, now they moving in on everybody, man. So it's finna get crazy.
Everyone, Social Security, education, all the Head Start program, folks. Again, I implore everybody to take some time, do it throughout the day, throughout your busy schedule. If you have some time when you're watching some of the content creators, click off the content creators for a minute and go watch these Senate hearings that's being held with Trump, with Kash Patel, Kristi Noem, and the others. None of these folks know what they're doing. RFK has no idea of what he's doing. He literally said that helping poor people and helping children with disabilities falls under DEI. How is that?
Know what's so sad about him is that his family was at the forefront of the civil rights movement. And here you and he John F. Kennedy's son or something?
Robert F. Kennedy.
Robert Kennedy.
Yeah, he's John F. Kennedy's his uncle, and Robert is his father. Yes, and you're absolutely right, Sid. It's so much so that they used to call the Kennedy family the Royals, the American royal family.
Mm-hmm.
But now look what the royal family has resolved to.
Yep, called the White House Camelot at one time.
They damn sure did. They sure did. Let's continue here.
This is why I don't take these Sambo seriously. Out of everything that's going on, I would think we would have Sambo fatigue. Wouldn't you? Should we have Sambo fatigue? You have these racists who fund these Sambos, and then they use the narratives that they paid them to promote, they use them as it's proof that it's organic. They're doing what they're getting paid to do.
Absolutely, they do. The Jason Whitlocks, that guy that just with the yellow T-shirt on earlier, a few of these other ones, they paid these folks. Anton Daniels. Let me speak on. I don't know if you know about Anton Daniels or not, but he's another one of the upper echelon content creators, as they call him, because he has a huge following, right? But this guy says that he is all about making money and showing people how to make money. But let me ask you something, Sid. If you are a businessman and you have businesses all over the world, how much time do you have in the course of a day to make a YouTube video?
None.
You don't have time for that, do you?
YouTube would be the furthest thing from my mind.
Furthest thing from your mind. But folks, go over there and go click on, I don't follow him, but go click on Anton Daniels' channel and look at the activity that's going on by this millionaire. Every 2 minutes, every 2 hours, every 15 minutes, you see Anton Daniels popping up like some little candy ass wannabe bitch. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but there's no other way to say it. Some candy ass wannabe bitch gossip column. You're not there's absolutely no way, Anton, if I had 20 cents to deposit into any kind of fund, I wouldn't ask you for advice. You're a gossip columnist. Bottom line. And I'll show y'all why in a little bit.
Saying what they're getting paid to say. None of this is organic. None of this is just like, you know what? They're free thinkers and they're fighting against the culture and everything. I have evil fatigue. Okay, that's what I have. I have lineage of evil fatigue. How about that? That encompasses all of y'all. The racists, the Sambos, all y'all like. That's what I have. I have lineage of evil fatigue. That includes as far as the Sambo fatigue and the racist fatigue. That's what that includes. Y'all about black fatigue.
I knew y'all was waiting for this guy right here. Y'all see him. There's another one of the content creators here, Angryman. We're going to cover him in a little bit. He going to give his idea of what black fatigue is. That's why I wanted to start with Dr. Richie. So you know now that all these loose niggas that give you their idea of what black fatigue is absolutely 100% wrong. Angry man. But I'm going to let y'all The reason why, listen, folks, I don't like Angryman. I don't like him as far as the content creator is concerned. I don't know the man personally, so I can't say I dislike him as a person. But as far as the content creator is concerned, I can say I truly dislike him. I want y'all to listen to how he describes, how he gives his version of what black fatigue is. Yeah, I know. If I got to sit through this shit, y'all got to sit through it too. Says, you want to hit on anything before we continue?
For those of you that don't know what black fatigue is, black fatigue.
Uncouth nasty. Uncouth nasty. How are you on a live stream snorting and then turn to the left or the right and launch one? Nasty. Uncouth. Uncivilized. On a live stream.
Is basically America tired, or Americans have grown tired of black folks' shenanigans. You know, black folks out here behaving in an unruly way, acting a damn fool, engaging in criminal activity, doing all kinds of shit, and pretending as if slavery or Jim Crow, which happened forever ago, is an adequate justification for their ignorant behavior today. It really makes no sense, because all of the people that are engaged in the foolishness of today never experienced Jim Crow, and most certainly were never slaves.
Well, Angryman, I can honestly say I didn't experience slavery, thank God. But I damn sure know what Jim Crow is. Hey, Angelica, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. I damn sure know what Jim Crow is. I might have caught the tail end of it. If my parents were still alive, they could tell you exactly what it is. Remember, when I started school, there were still books that said for colored schools only. When I was a real young boy, there was parts of the town of Charleston, South Carolina, and other places around this country. They called them sundown towns, that you could not go as a black person, or you know what would happen to you.
And believe it or not, they got towns like that here in Illinois, right where I'm at.
Okay.
So.
I'm sorry, Angelica. I know. She says I'm about to traumatize her. I know, but I hate to do it. But see, somebody got to call out this foolishness. Somebody got to tell these folks that stop listening to Angryman. Other than that, I would not pay any attention to Angryman at all. The reason why I pay attention to Angryman and Anton Daniels is because the amount of us that's over there paying attention to him. If I can pull 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people away from Anton Daniels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people away from Angryman, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people away from Obsidian, I've done my job. I've done my job. This nigga just said that Americans are tired of us. Us who? Angryman, are you not an American?
You know what upsets me the most about these people? I don't know what they think that, like when white people see them, they see whiteness.
I think that's
I don't get it.
I don't understand it. I'm gonna use Cat Williams' phrase here. Throughout the history of niggerdom, when has that ever worked?
Never. And you know, we got a couple of prime examples for that too. We got Candace Owens, and we got Stacey Dash, and they female. So what is it?
Okay. Oh, but it gets a little better from there, Zahara. He's going to describe himself a little bit more to the detail. Listen to him. This is Angry Man, y'all. Trying to tell you that this is what white. First of all, look at the attire that he has on. White people are describing you, Angry Man. Hey, they're describing you with the polo shirt, with the baseball cap. They're describing you.
You know, the only thing that differentiates.
They feel the need to act.
I'm sorry, Sid. Go right ahead.
I was just gonna say, I know you was gonna start the video, but the only thing that differentiates him, I don't know if this brother is part African American and part orangutan, because why is his beard different colors? Like, I've been looking at this brother, and I'm trying to figure that out.
Wait, Sid. Is this the first time you've seen Angry Man?
Yes, it is.
Folks, I rest my case. I rest my case. This is the first time that the guy that's on this platform right here with me right now has ever experienced Angry Man. And y'all heard the question and how he described him. Angry Man, it's not only me, brother. And this is another reason. Say that again, Char. Fresh eyes. Never seen you before, Angry Man. So imagine how somebody else outside of YouTube would describe you if they saw you for the first time. Huh? Angry Man. See it?
All I see is orange beard, bro, and gray hair. That's all I see right now.
And the thing about it, you use the word orangutan.
Yes.
Again, there's a content creator called I hate to bring him up, but Jay Prince for president. That's what he referred to as Angry Man. He made a joke about Angry Man. Talking about, look, I went to the zoo, and there was a shaved down monkey, and then I said, "Oh, look, that's Angry Man."
Wow.
But hey, no, Angry Man, I know. Normally, I don't crack on you like that, bro, but I couldn't pass it up. Because you're an
Man needs to dye his hair. That's what he needs to do.
He does dye it on
several. Blonde. I mean, you know, I would have more respect for him if he had a blonde beard than orange and pepper. Whatever he got going on his face, like roadkill that he just put on his face and said, "Okay, here I go. Here I am."
Damn.
I'm just saying.
You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Let's continue.
The damn fool. They feel the need to never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity. They feel the need to make sure that we remain at the bottom of the social hierarchy. Right? You see it all the time. Like I literally had to stop following the Shade Room. And the reason why I had to stop watching the Shade Room is because,
okay,
back in the day, there was this thing. I could be watching a TV show or something, and somebody would be.
I know you're not going to tell the truth about that, why you stopped watching the Shade Room, Angry Man, but I'll tell the listening audience why you stopped watching the Shade Room. Because you didn't get an invite. Just like with Fresh and Fit. You didn't get an invite to their party, so you got mad at them. You was mad at Fox Soul until they finally let your ass up there and gave you a whole minute and 42 seconds to talk your shit. That's why you stopped following the Shade Room, because they didn't let you in the front door. That's why.
Doing something extremely embarrassing, and it was so cringe to watch that I couldn't even watch it. Like, I would change the channel or look away or something like that. It wasn't until recently that I found out there's a term for that. The term is called secondhand embarrassment.
Y'all ever heard of that before?
The way these
y'all put a one or what's my man say? Press one. Put a 1 or 2 in the chat room. Have you ever heard that term before? Secondhand embarrassment. Any of y'all heard that before?
I haven't.
Have you?
No.
Niggas think they can say anything, make up anything, and all you got to do is say it, angry man, and it's right. Where is that? Where is that? What book can we go look up secondhand embarrassment? Said if you think that you do something that's embarrassing, I'm embarrassed for you because you did it, but it don't reflect on me, does it?
Well, it shouldn't, but I'm embarrassed by looking at this brother, man. I'm still on his hair.
Okay. It's hard to get
He's
past.
an embarrassment. He's an embarrassment to black people altogether.
All together. Hey, Candy Cane Lane, good to see you. Welcome in. But again, I'm looking at in the chat room. I'm seeing some ones and some no's. So we, as the common everyday black folk around here, we ain't nobody special. We're nobody important. I won't say important, but we just go to our day-to-day lives. We talk to different people throughout the spectrum of life, white, black, brown, or whatever. And I ain't never heard secondhand embarrassment as a term used by any psychologist or any person that makes a difference. But over there, if you go over to that stream that Angry Man was doing this at, you'll see them in their chat room talking about Angry Man cooking. Yeah, you stirring up a pot of bullshit. That's what you cooking. I can smell it from over here. Let's continue with this dumb shit.
Negroes act. The things they promote, the things they enjoy, the behavior, the language, the mannerisms, the interactions is so damn embarrassing that I can't even watch it. Most of the things that black folk today believe is our culture, it is some of the most ass ignorant shit I have ever seen in my life. And I'm tired of pretending like it ain't. I'm tired.
Well, Angry Man, you don't pretend, because that is your commentary. Everything about you is complaining about black people. You invented a term to call black women. Remember? Strags. You're one of them, as far as I'm concerned. You are that Sambo. You just what they call folks light-skinned brothers like you. Because me personally, I was questioning your nationality, but they call brothers like you sand niggas. Marvin Gaines, sand nigga. Say it.
I'm trying to figure out what he is. I've been looking at him, so. But no, but then you wonder about these cats, right? I mean, I don't want to get in a personal life, but I wonder, do he date white women? No question. He probably couldn't even handle a black woman.
Well, damn, said, he don't date a white woman, but he says, I think his girlfriend or his wife, as he calls her to be, she's Latino. This dude right here says that it's a known fact. Yeah, it's a known fact, said, that Latino women smell better than black women. That's a known fact. Everybody knows that. When you heard that before? When you heard that?
That's my first time ever hearing it.
Okay. I thought it was a known fact.
No. And
if I tell you,
I live around Latinos.
Okay. No disrespect to the female Latino population. Right, but y'all don't smell no different from the average black or white woman. All of y'all smell like perfume at some time or the other. But one thing for sure is, again, no disrespect to my Latino brothers and sisters, but I know when I'm in your neighborhood, because Fabuloso is a motherfucker. You smell that shit down the street. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Sure can.
Okay. That's a good definition to call him, Candy Cane, a race baiter. But if you was to ask Angry Man that, he probably would tell you, no, I'm not.
I'm tired of pretending. It's prom season. And for prom season, you got these Negroes that live in the hood, and they parents go out and they get all of these balloons and they get the big ass balloon that says 2025, and they put it out in front of the house, and a bunch of niggas stand out in front of the house and they play music, and whoever's going to the prom, they come out of the house like they're a superstar, and they got the money fad. It is one of the most ignorant things I've ever seen in my damn life. Classless.
White,
but I don't know why.
Do wait a minute. Angry Man is what you're saying is white folks don't do that? White folks don't have balloons out in front of their house. White folks don't take pictures of their kids about to graduate. White folks don't have parties standing out in front of the house. White folks don't have graduation parties. Well, I can tell you that's a flat ass lie, because I got one to do here pretty soon. Matter of fact, I have 3 of them to do.
This brother's saying
he's an idiot.
He's a sad ass case of whatever the fuck he want to be. He's a sad ass case. He's not even making a good case for whatever he's trying to be, because I see, I live in, I live south of Chicago, and where I live is like, it's a pretty mixed area. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, white people, they down the street, their daughter had a prom. Matter of fact, we had prom like a couple weeks ago here. And the white people was out celebrating, the Hispanic people was out celebrating, black people was out celebrating. Wasn't none of this. But from where he lived, I don't think he got neighbors. And I think that's what his problem is.
If I'm not mistaken, I do believe Angry Man lives in North Carolina. And you ain't gonna tell me that you don't see Latino people in North Carolina having birthday and graduation celebrations, Angry Man. You're not going to tell me.
Let one of their parties come out. Let one of their Sweet 16s come up. You hear that circus music all day.
All day long. And they got pinatas, again, not being disrespectful, because I'm just trying to prove a point here. But they got at least 1 or 2 pinatas hanging, one in the front yard, one in the backyard. Am I wrong?
Right. And it'd be a gang of them there.
Oh yeah, drinking cerveza, drinking that Modelo, and they having a party. They celebrating that their child is moving to the next phase of their life. But let Angry Man tell it.
He probably didn't have a graduation party or I don't know what's the equivalent of a Sweet 16 for a man, but he may not even graduate high school. From the way he sounded like, that's ignorant. I don't get it. Like,
well, again, said it's funny. I guess first impressions mean a lot, folks, because here it is. My co-host right now has never heard or seen this particular individual before. That we call him the Angry Man. But listen how he describes him, as if he has known him. Have I ever talked to you about the Angry Man before? Said.
I'd never heard of this brother. Well, I ain't gonna even call him brother. I never heard of this dude.
Okay. So never. It's Angry Man, it's universal. That's what it's called. I couldn't think of the name there, Taylor, but that
mariachi music.
Yeah, mariachi music. You hear it all over the place.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm a DJ. I got DJ equipment. I got speakers. You hear me?
Okay.
And I don't know what speakers they got. But those things are crystal clear, and they carry for blocks.
I want to. Of course, Jay, we both do the same thing. But when you go into I've done a few of the Latin parties, but it seems to me that music carries a whole lot more farther. Maybe it's because of the type instruments that they're using. I don't know, but you damn sure can hear that shit.
Yeah, you can
down the street. You can hear it. And when I say that shit, I'm not being disrespectful when I say that, folks, by no stretch. They got the speakers in their car.
I admire the Latino culture because at least they have one. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you may have had some Latinos that voted for Trump, but they don't talk bad about each other. It's only black people.
Not like this.
It's only black people that do this. This is why we can never get nowhere, because of people like him. People like him, people like the other guy,
right?
In the yellow shirt.
Yeah, right, right. And there's a whole lot more of them. We're gonna cover one more here in a minute. What's up there, Mike Spearman? How you doing? Good to see you, good brother. Let's continue on here. Said anything else you want to drop on this loose nigga?
Nah, man, fuck him. Go on,
Let's
go
go.
ahead.
We keep pretending because let's be clear. Let's be clear. These new niggas ain't got no class. We are a long way from the Bill Cosbys, the Sidney Poitiers, the Harry Belafontes, the Gordon Parks, the Ernie Barnes. We a long way from class. This classless group of degenerates, and they think it's cool. They think it's cool to be ignorant. They think it's cool to be belligerent. They think it's cool to be, it's like those women that were working at Frontier. And you thought she was going to get your flight. And you thought she was going to get your flight. And you thought she was going to get your flight. Like they.
I wanted to see how long it was before he started referring to women. Didn't take him long at all, didn't he? Does not take this fight long at all. Go ahead.
You know the thing that just pissed me off about what he said? He's naming a lot of the people who were really involved in the civil rights movement. The people who really fought through everything to have a platform to speak up for black people. And they did that. And now this goofy motherfucker is trying to tear us down, man.
That's exactly what he's doing.
And it's pissing me off.
That's exactly what he's doing. You're absolutely right, Sid. That's exactly what he's doing. And because he think he can throw, because he heard some names or he knows some names that was around the civil rights era, let me throw them at y'all. So it's to throw y'all off the scent. No, nigga, that don't work. Not with us. This man ain't never seen or heard from you, but he already don't like you. How long you been up here, Sid? About 30 minutes now? About a little over an hour or so? And you don't like
about 30 minutes.
Right. Let's continue.
Pride themselves on this shit. They pride themselves on this shit. They think it's cute. They think it's cute.
Thank you for the super sticker there, Shar. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Now, I would like to say that I would like to think that I started feeling black fatigue along with the rest of America.
Y'all listen to this.
Which is recently. But I got news for you, America. I got news for all of you non-black folks that feel black fatigue. I have been feeling black fatigue my entire life.
I was just going to say that.
I have been feeling black fatigue my entire life. It goes all the way back to grade school.
But the way he means it said and the way you and I mean it is two different things. Two different things. Listen, this is why he's going to take y'all back to his childhood. He's going to go back down memory lane. And he's going to tell you why now that after all these years, he discovered that he been feeling black fatigue under his estimation. Because we already heard the definition of how he gave what he thought black fatigue was. So let's let him reminisce about his childhood.
All the way back to grade school. I remember moving around and going to different schools. Every time I went to a new school, every time I went to a new grade, there was always some ignorant ass savage that wanted to start a fight with me. Now keep in mind, I was never violent by nature. But I had to become violent because Every time I went to a new school, every time I went to a new grade, there was always some nigga. And conveniently, it was always a dark-skinned nigga.
Y'all heard that? It's always a dark-skinned nigga that give him problems. Well, Angry Man, let me clue you in on something. I'm just going to go ahead and take you back to the 60s, because some of those people that were 9, 10, 12, 15, 16, 17 years old, they're still alive. They're still around. Go and ask those people what it's like to go to a school where you're not wanted. Go and ask those people what it's like to go to the University of Alabama or the University of Georgia or the local high school that you could not attend because of your skin color. Nothing more, nothing less. Go and find out. We can watch. What's the name of that? I think these niggas like watching TV shows, so that's why I like to reference TV shows when I'm talking to idiots. What was the movie Back to the Future? What was the main character in that movie? Who was the main character in that movie other than the doc and the guy that traveled back into the future?
What's his name? Biff?
Biff. And
Yeah.
what was Biff? What was Biff?
He was an asshole.
He was an asshole. He was a bully. That is the history of white America. You can go through all the little teenage movies and the high school movies. That is the common theme. There's always a white bully. There's always a little white kid being trumped on with glasses, with the clip on for his whatchamacallits or whatever. They're always getting stumped. And a matter of fact, let's go a little farther into it. Let's bring it to the black neighborhoods. Hey, ABT, how you doing? How you doing? Everybody hates Chris. Doesn't he have a nemesis?
Yeah, he did. I can't think of his name.
It's a little white redheaded kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Little white redheaded kid. What was the little white redheaded kid? He was not only a bully to Chris, he was a bully to everybody. Right? So, Angry Man, what you experienced is nothing more than any other kid has experienced through high school. You might be different. You might look different. You might talk different. You might be of a different nationality. But bullying is not exclusive to black people, especially dark-skinned brothers. I'm a dark-skinned brother, and I can tell you when I was in high school, I caught hell for being dark-skinned. Go talk to Clarence Thomas.
Always. Now, while I don't have anything against black folks of the darker skin tone, I just got to point that out because it's a fact. But regardless of skin tone, some of the things, like I'll give you a prime example, right? I remember being a little kid and my father, when I was a little kid and I was around my father would go to the court, play basketball every Sunday, right? I remember this.
Watch this dude about to open mouth and insert foot. Watch how I dismantle Angry Man after. I'm gonna let him finish this, but watch what I say in response to him, folks.
But I never really found basketball interesting. Never did. Never did. I never really found basketball interesting. I never really found football interesting. That's just me. That's just me. I was not the athlete type, right?
We can tell.
Yeah.
But as a small black boy, as a young black boy, you can't be around niggas and not like basketball.
Who told you that?
You can't be around niggas and not like football.
Who told you that?
One of the things I was smart enough to know when I was a child is that even if you don't fit in, you gotta attempt to fit in.
So, Angry Man,
do y'all know I taught myself how to play basketball?
Okay, stop right there. You taught you. I'm gonna get to that. But angry man, this what you just gave, sir, was a definition, could be used in the definition of black fatigue. Why do I say that? HBCUs were created because why? We couldn't go to white colleges and universities. What else? Juneteenth was created for what? Because we didn't find out till 2 years later, after slavery is over, he's free now. Black entertainment. Let's go someplace like the 1985s. If Michael Jackson had not said, "I'm not gonna play no more of your music. I'm not gonna let you play no more of my music if you don't start putting black entertainers on your programs." Or how about BET? What? Right? Why does BET exist? Because every channel you turn on was Leave It to Beaver. What's their Friends, Seinfeld. There was no representation of us on TV. That's why black entertainment was created. That's why these black sitcoms was created, because there was no representation of us, dumbass. So go ahead, Sid.
No, I was just going to say that, and that should be a topic of a whole nother Chop Shop, is the programming that they have for us that's out now.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's terrible.
Right. Well, definitely take a look at that. Well, look into that. I think that'll be a good topic. Said we might shoot into that this weekend. If you're not busy, we can pull it up. I'll need to go and pull some clips on it. But yeah, we definitely can get into that for sure. I don't know. Bridget. Some people say that Angry Man is a black man. Some people say he is, but to me, with the name Juan Valdez, I don't know.
My father never taught me how to play basketball. He didn't make me do anything I didn't want to do. So when he would go to the park to play ball, I would be somewhere playing on the jungle gym and shit. I won't pay no attention to basketball. I get in school, and I'll never forget this. I'm in school, and the kids is playing basketball, and they asked me to play. What I'm gonna say? I don't know how to play. I said, okay, I'll play. I watched everybody watch what they was doing, and I put together how to play basketball in that one game. I figured out what a travel was. I figured out what double dribble.
Did y'all hear that? Say it. Have you ever played basketball before?
Oh, I was into basketball when I was younger.
Right. So
I went to school with Tim Hardaway. So
right.
I know what it is.
Right. So when you first started playing basketball, did you know how to play it? Did you know what a travel was? Or did someone have to teach you what the game was all about?
No, yeah, you was taught. Yeah.
He just said to us, and anyone that was listening or that was on his platform that's hearing this now, that he said that he learned the game of basketball in one game.
You know what?
Game.
It's a term that I like to put out there. It's called liabilities. Because this brother been lying. He's been lying about a lot of stuff since I've been listening to him.
Lies. Hey, again, folks, I got to stress to you this. My co-host right now, DJ Dreadhead, said, I got to stress to you, he has never heard or seen Angry Man before today. Never has. Correct me if I'm wrong,
I ain't never seen him. And usually when I get clowns like this on my feed, I instantly tell YouTube to stop recommending their channels to me. So I really don't see a lot of this stuff. I really don't see a lot of it, but I'm angry.
Yeah, I got a kick out of that one too, Bridget. I'm gonna have to put that in my arsenal. That nigga got diabetes. That's what he got. Right, type 2. You got type 2 diabetes. But right,
Yeah,
but like Shar just said. Now remember, if you go over this platform and if you start reading his chats, you will see the people telling him he cooking right now.
because you know what? It's, believe it or not, and I hate to admit it, but it's a lot of black people that want to be misled by clowns like this.
Yes, absolutely.
So what the only thing he's cooking is a bucket of shit. That's all he's cooking.
I told you,
nothing that he's saying is making sense to me.
Absolutely not. But let's continue. We're almost through with this clown here. I just wanted y'all to hear what he was talking about. Y'all listen to a little bit more. I know we got another clown on deck in a little while.
If I picked up the ball and double dribble, it's like, yo, you double dribbling. I'd be like, oh, my bad. And I didn't do that no more. That's how I learned how to that's how I learned how to play basketball.
Well, we know he don't know how to play basketball.
Right.
That's how I learned how to play basketball.
Well, one thing we do know, Angry Man, if you don't know nothing else, you know how to get to that refrigerator. We do know that. Hot belly, 3 sandwich eating, no content having motherfucker. That's what you are.
The only hoops he know is donuts.
Donut hoops. Hoops, hula hoops. And we talking about, when he say hoops, we talking about, you know how you go to the store and that big old bag of cereal that just says rounds.
You know, I think this man got bullied because of his attitude, for one. And I think he got his ass kicked a lot, for two. And if his father was playing basketball and didn't teach him how to play, that means his father knew some bullshit with him from the get-go.
I ain't wasting my time with you, son. Go over there and sit on the bench. Ah, shit. Go pick up that book over there. You're not going to be good at this. Go ahead.
But I want you to keep in mind, the only reason I did that is because I understood and I knew that if I didn't find interest in what the other black kids found interest in, I would become a target. I would be somebody that got bullied. Because there were some kids that they'd just tell you straight out, I don't like that. I don't want to do that. What, you don't like basketball? And then they would start fucking with them. Right? Masqueraded as being average. Just so they could fit in. How many black people could have been engineers, scientists, politicians, doctors, lawyers, judges, all types of shit. But because we're taught this bullshit concept of black people don't need to assimilate into American society because America is only for white people. That's the underlying shit. That's where it really comes from.
Can you hold that thought real quick?
Sure, go right ahead.
See, what he just said, it's the same shit that white people say and how white people feel.
Again, folks,
He must don't understand that there are a lot of people who strive with black excellence.
The mere fact that
I bet he play video games. You know what I'm saying?
He's a gamer. He also collects figurines. He talks about anime and all kind of shit like that. He's a goofball. The only reason Angry Man is able to garner the amount of folks that he has is because he's one of the originals. He got on YouTube when all this shit started, where anybody could say anything. Now he says he has over close to 800,000 followers now. Would you follow him?
Man, I wouldn't follow that dude to a refrigerator because I wouldn't get nothing.
Well, there wouldn't be nothing there when you got there because he done ate it all up. Right.
He done drank all the Kool-Aid. He done ate all of the Debbie snacks.
Right. I like pig's feet. I like hog mo's Angry Man.
Okay, I see a video he got now with the figurines. But what he don't understand is while he's talking about black people and being scientists and stuff, every time you pick up a controller, remember the very first video game was originated by a black man.
Idiot. That's what
you know
he
what I'm
is.
saying. When you say, okay, well, we're gonna get these Nerf guns and we're gonna go and you know, play ambush or whatever.
Super
Nerf
Soaker
was created by the Super Soaker, same guy, by a black man.
Broom.
Every time you pick up a cell phone,
internet, iron board, open heart surgery, gas mask, stoplight. The list goes on of their achievements.
And you know
of
what?
Black folks.
NASA wouldn't have never made it to the moon.
Never.
If it wasn't for black women.
Okay. Never. Angry man. So what you're saying is, in your statement, it's just like said, you are using the very same talking points that white folks use. And I'm not talking about all white folks, since hit dogs holler. So if you're mad about this stream right here, I'm talking directly to you. If you're upset about what I'm saying, I'm talking directly to you, because this and what you're hearing now is actual black fatigue.
Now, what I'm hearing now is straight niggering. That's what I'm hearing.
No, I'm saying from me, not from Angry Man.
Him.
Right. From
what I'm talking about from him.
That is from Coonan, Yazabowson. That's what we're hearing from the Angry Man.
And you know what a lot of black people don't know, and I'm quite sure he's one of them. That when he say niggers, what he don't really understand is that nigger is just another word for ignorant.
Okay.
And they felt that we was ignorant back when we were slaves, so they tacked the name onto us. But that's what it really means. It means ignorance, and he has a lot of it.
Absolutely. Low IQ. Angry Man.
No IQ.
No IQ. That's exactly it. You just have a platform that you can yap. And somebody super chatting you. YouTube is giving you some money. So you're gonna continue.
No, he got a lot of white people supporting his channel. That's what it is.
It said, let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
Say one of your sons was a budgeting rapper or trying to get out into the rap game, and you had a big channel, and this guy was your daddy. Would you feel slighted if your daddy didn't play one of your videos, one of your songs, or mention any of your music? Would you feel slighted?
Oh, I would definitely feel slighted. But that just goes to show the type of person that he is, though.
Say that again. That just goes to show you the type of person that he is. The apple don't fall far from the tree, because you heard his daddy didn't push him, so he not gonna push his.
Well, his father probably didn't push him because he probably knew that he was going to turn out to be early in life.
Yeah.
So you know your kids.
Yeah, but again,
I don't think his pops was nothing like him.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. I know the history of this guy because I've reported on him several times, and he has not spent a whole lot of time around his pops. That's out your own mouth, Angry Man. I didn't say that. That's out your own mouth.
We are culturally trained within the black community not to do anything that white folks do, even if it's things that would benefit us. Why get good grades? You're still gonna be a nigga. Why go to college? You're still gonna be a nigga. Why have a plan for the trajectory of your life? Why worry about a career? Why worry about being a lawyer? Why worry about becoming a partner in a law firm? You're still gonna be a nigga. That's the mentality.
This is how this coon thinks, folks. Now, don't you hear white supremacists saying that? I don't care how what you achieved in life. I don't care where you've been. I don't care what your accomplishments are. You're still gonna be a nigga to me. Angry Man, that's exactly what you just said.
And that's exactly what they say about us.
Right. He wasn't wrong. Mike Spearman. He wasn't wrong, but he's using it in the wrong contents.
Exactly.
Because that is exactly how some white folks think about us as black people. No matter what the greatness is of our accomplishments, no matter how great we are at anything, to them, we're still niggers.
And guess what? So is he.
So is he.
And that's the thing that makes everything about what he's doing sad. Very sad. Because just like us, no matter how much you coon for the white man, yeah, let them pull you over and you piss one of them police officers. You don't know what kind of day the police officer may have.
Right.
He's still gonna kick your ass.
Right. Oh,
He's still
gonna
gonna
get his right. He gonna get his black card sooner or later. He might run into a Nick Fuentes or a Just Pearly things again that was gonna take these loose niggas to the promised land. Talk what they were gonna take them to stardom. And as soon as they got what they wanted from him, as soon as they stopped needing them to tote their water for them, and they just abandoned ship, got rid of all these niggas.
Yeah, you see what they did to Candace. Man, they threw Candace not only did they threw her under the Mariana Trench. That's how bad they threw that girl under.
Deep.
And she was the biggest coon.
Okay.
Of coons.
Deep. Okay. All right. I think he has a little bit more here, folks, and then we're going to move on to another supreme coon, Anton Daniels.
That's the mentality. This self-defeating mantra that is just perpetuated all through the black community. Tell us, bro, you know how many times I done heard somebody in the black community tell me, you ain't gonna be able to do that because white folks ain't gonna let you do that. Bro, I remember growing up hearing people saying, white folks ain't gonna let you have good credit. This is
How idiotic can you be? Because there was a time, Angryman, that white folks would not let you do shit. There was a time, and not so recent, distant past, Angryman, that you couldn't vote as a black man, as a white woman, that you could not walk down the street, you could not go into a restaurant. In the not so distant past, Angryman, and if you got out of line, white folks with hoods and sheets and horses would ride up to your house, snatch you out of there. If they didn't beat you to an inch of your life, they took it. Do you know, again, sundown towns don't mean anything to you, does it, Angryman? Sundown towns mean exactly this. See this dude right here? I guarantee you, from what we're about to hear from him, he grew up in a sundown town. I can guarantee you that. So, Angryman, I want you to hear what came out of your mouth. Now it's being translated by this dude. On the right side, you have King Yassaboss Anton Daniels. And on the left side, I don't know who this white dude is, but he's going to try and tell you what black fatigue is. Let's go.
Is being brought up. And oh, by the way, for us white people that have been around the block a long time, this isn't new to us. We've been dealing with this for over 40 years. Here's my story. This is about 2015. I'm at Put-in Bay. Put-in Bay's on South Bass Island in Lake Erie. There's a bunch of bars out there. It's a great place for adults to go play. Think of Pat Daly, Mad Dog Adams. If you don't know those guys, think of Jimmy Buffett.
Now, folks, the mere fact that he mentioned those names tells you that's not a place that where black people go. Black people don't rush to see Jimmy Buffett. If y'all don't know who Jimmy Buffett is, he sings the song Margaritaville. Hippie. Jimmy Buffett was in the Flower Child era. Black folks don't rush to listen to Jimmy Buffett music. They don't. They don't go and listen to Mad Dog Rex music. They don't.
Sitting on a bench on Delaware waiting for my wife, who's in a shop shopping. And at the time, the traffic is two ways. And I think I witnessed why it is no longer two ways. It's a Saturday afternoon. The island is packed. The traffic is bumper to bumper. These two guys going in opposite directions decide to stop and have a chat. Not for a couple seconds, not for a couple minutes, but I think it was around 10 minutes before people started to threaten them. But around the 5-minute mark, I'm just sitting there with my arms folded, just shaking my head. And I hear this voice. This is what's holding us back. This is why we're hated.
Probably from a black.
And I turned around to see who had said it, and it was a black couple about my age.
Yep.
You knew that was coming. You knew that was coming. These cherry-picking coons, Sambos, Yassabosses, will go find a white man to agree with and then put it on their platform. Did anybody that's listening to this stream now or later on expected anything different to come out of this white guy's mouth? Any of y'all?
I didn't.
I know damn well I didn't.
Then he looked directly at me and said, 30 years ago, I'd go down there, grab those idiots by their dreadlocks, and teach them a lesson their father.
And guess what? Today, the YNs, they don't play no games. They will probably beat the crap out of you and then justify it and say that you was in their business. And that you had no reason to be over there trying to have a conversation with them in the first place, even though they were stopping traffic for well over 10 minutes. But
okay, Anton, since it's your turn now, let's go ahead and start with you, sir. Have you ever heard the term critical mass? And I lived in San Francisco for a while. There was a term that they used called critical mass. What white folks would do, they would go, in this particular incident, they would go and block traffic on the across the Golden Gate Bridge and the Bay Bridge. Imagine that. Not for 10 minutes, not for 15 minutes, but for hours. Simply because they didn't want some aspects of the alphabet community to be married. That was critical mass. Or let's move into this bloody summer of 2020, because some of y'all niggas like to bring up BLM and your argument of we ain't shit. Now let's go back to 2020. Washington. Let's go to Seattle. Let's go to Ohio. Let's go to all these different places where they say that folks took over the different cities. Who did y'all see outside? Did y'all see us? See it? The bloody summer of 2020,
I don't think so.
George Floyd. Did you see us or did you see white folks?
Oh, yeah, we was out in full force. You seen a lot of white folks, too. Yeah, we was out there.
Who was doing the killing, said?
The white folks.
Okay. Who was doing the burning, said?
The white folks.
Okay.
this right here just proves that we not all the same. And just because there's a demographic of us that embarrass us does not mean that we black people have black fatigue the same way that white people have black fatigue.
Never did.
No.
And I looked at him and went, 30 years ago, I'd have been right there with you. Mm-hmm. I have
said, hold on just for a second. I had somebody knocking at my door there. So if you don't mind, entertain the folks for about 2 minutes. Let me go answer my door and I'll be right back. Okay.
No problem. No problem.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm looking at,
tell them about your show later on there, bro.
Oh, okay. For sure. But I'm going to comment on this for a hot second. He right about one thing. These YNs ain't playing with people. So dude could try it if he wants to, but in today's age, it ain't happening. But anyway, I'm glad that Music has me on the show. I really appreciate you guys giving me an opportunity to co-host with him and, you know, show some love and everything. But I do have a show that I'm about to get prepared for. It's called the Hook and Hennessy Radio Show. And I play a lot of R&B music, but I take requests. So if you have time to chop in and check me out, please do so. I would appreciate it. Other than that, I don't know what else to say about this. This is just straight coonery at its finest. Both of these brothers. You know, I've met people like them, and I've tried to stay as far away from these people as possible. But you know, face, you know what I'm saying? I understand why people bring down to certain other groups of people that don't give a fuck about them either. Got the fact that these black folks is that these brothers have, that these people have against us, they are reaffirming it. So when they see people, they don't see people like Music doing this show, or they don't see the good doctor that was on earlier. You know, they see these people. They see these people, and when these people sit up here and dog black people out, they say, "Yeah, he right. That's exactly how they are. It's coming from one of their own."
All right.
Oh, the audio is breaking up.
Yeah, it's breaking
All
up
right.
just a little bit, but I got you. I'm back there, folks. Sorry about that. But,
Yeah, I was just kind of. Can you hear me? Am I okay now?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my mic, man. My mic is on some BS today.
Yeah, you're borging just a little bit, but we heard you. Let me go ahead and push play because I forgot where I was at here. But listen to this.
Hated this type of behavior my entire life. I've never gotten it. How self-centered do you have to be to have no respect for any other human being? It's all about you. These are the people I've spent my life avoiding. But I had never thought about it from the black community side. And I gotta say, it sucks a lot more for you guys than it does for us white people. Because you're associated with it.
Yep, and that's the truth. The fact of the matter is, the stereotypes can be true, and often at times they do come from someplace. And the people that do take care of their business, that's not racist, and that does not hold up traffic, we get lumped in with everybody else, and that's what makes it difficult. That's really the nutshell of it.
Okay, Anton, is that our fault because they want to look at all black people as we're all a monolith? Is there no ain't shitness in the white community? Is there ain't no shitness in the Latino community? They do not have a bottom of the bowl rust stains living in there amongst themselves? Are we the only people that have this problem of ain't shitness? Anton? So who are we? The audience want to know, Anton, who are you referring to? Are you referring to the bottom of the bowl rust stains that permeates in all communities, whether it's white or black? But what you're doing is you're giving credence to this guy's audience because he's going to go back and say, hey, look, black guy agrees with me. 30,
and that was the point that
ago,
I was just making.
Go ahead, sir.
That was the point I was just making about how when white people, like I was just saying, they do this. They listen to people like him, but they won't listen to nobody like you that will tell it like it is. But they listen to this jerk and say, yeah, this is exactly how black people are. I totally agree with this guy because this is what it is, and it's not what it is.
That's right. Basically, Anton, what you're doing is, correct me if I'm wrong, said he is co-signing this white guy's. I'm going to have to call this prejudice right now because I can't call him a racist because I don't know him. But he is speaking. He is speaking. Okay, there you have it. But he is
because he's agreeing with everything that this dude is saying.
Yeah,
and man, this is just. I'm just looking at him like, dude, why? You know, they act like they didn't come from black women that struggled, like their parents didn't struggle. Maybe his parents didn't. I don't know.
Okay, I'll ask you the same question I asked you about Angryman. Have you ever seen this guy before?
I've seen his YouTube channel come up on my feed, but I never watched him.
And
so I don't know nothing about this dude.
Right. It usually comes up as the Millionaire Money Show, a morning show like that. So
yeah, the Millionaire Money.
Right. So if you
know what, I did watch this brother before.
And what was he talking about, Sid? Could you find anything about money on his channel?
Well, he was talking about Chicago, and he was talking about, it was something about Chicago and how the mayor of Chicago was moving a lot of the immigrants in the black neighborhoods and stuff because the white people don't do it.
You're borking a little bit, so I didn't hear that last part.
Okay.
Content for sale. Now you're barking again, so I'm gonna go ahead and play. I'll check back in a sec.
All right.
There's a segment of the community that thinks that you're a sellout if you stand on business and you say, hey, we need to do things the right way. It's not a white thing. It's not a black thing. It's just the right thing to do. And then all of a sudden, you're a sellout. You get called every single name in the book. They say that you are... I didn't heard it all. I personally heard it all. If you take care of your business, if you speak proper English, you must be white, or you speak white. We gotta talk like this and that and all of that type of stuff, and we gotta make sure that we can't read. It's funny because when I was coming up, and initially when I was in public school before my father put me in private schools for 2 years during middle school so that I can get my act together, and that's what happens when you have a strong father in your life. Right was wrong and wrong was right. Like, they teased the smart kid. He was problematic, and it wasn't until I went into this environment and I was corrected by the staff, which my parents supported them correcting me, and then they corrected me when I got home. It wasn't until then that they said that, hey, listen, you're not going to tease other people, you're not going to bully, and you're the one that's stupid if you don't get yourself together. And it was around that time, and I didn't really catch all of the lessons until after I left that school and then went back to public school, which I did go to a great public school after that. But it wasn't until after that that I realized, wait a minute, we don't all have to be in the same bucket. We don't all have to be in the same space. We all are not alike. And just because we have the same pigmentation in our skin doesn't necessarily mean that I have to act like you do or you. And we can ascend to the top of corporate America, and we can build businesses without saying that you got to support a black business. It can be great just based off of great customer service and phenomenal products or whatever that is that you give into the public. But unfortunately, black people that carry themselves with a level of dignity and take care of business, they are labeled as the bad guys.
Only on YouTube, only on your channel, only on the Angryman's channel, because you folks, you black, you useless loose niggas on YouTube invented these terms for brothers like me. Y'all called me a simp because instead of coming over here screaming and yelling at women or cursing them out, I have conversations with them. So y'all automatically go to, you must be trying to hit on one of these women. Listen, I'm blessed, but I ain't gonna never be that blessed that I could get at any of y'all women from the internet, from sitting in my chair here, that if I say something so excited to one of y'all women, so powerful that a woman hears it, that her legs just gonna fly open. I must be trying to do something. I must be up to something, because there's no way that you as a black man should be thinking like this. You should be thinking like us. Black women ain't shit.
You're not going to get any more backlash. And I'm very glad that white people are starting to understand the plight of the rest of us, because we can't go anywhere without somebody saying, me personally, I'll go somewhere and then somebody will say, yeah, I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad you're one of us.
Ooh.
And it's like.
So basically, Anton, what you're saying is you hang around white folks. Every once in a while, there'll be another coon in the room with you. Is that what you're saying? Bag chasers. Have you ever heard of a millionaire say, I'm chasing a bag? Say it. I ain't never heard. I ain't never heard a millionaire say that. They already got the bag. Right. They already got the bag. They ain't chasing it. And folks, this thing about this money bag, where that money bowl at, preach it. Y'all know this nigga ain't no good. You'll see it at the end of the stream. Y'all know these niggas ain't no good. But you still follow them. Here he is over here, black man, put him and 8 o'clock in the morning together. Well, I'll say 10 o'clock in the morning together. And you get midnight, and he over here talking shit about us. You're gonna get your black card sooner or later, Anton. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there.
I'm a regular person just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? But it always becomes a black thing. Let me hear the rest of what he got to say, and then we're going to come back and have this conversation.
Right? There are a lot of whites that just put you all together. And it has slowed down the healing of this country.
It did.
And seriously, 40 years ago, racism should have been over. Unfortunately, the Democratic Party has continued to fan the flames of racism to make money and to get votes. I'm so thankful that a lot of you are waking up to this.
Now, this guy, this is a recent post here, folks. Very recent. So this white guy said that the Democratic Party is stoking the flames of racism. Am I blind? Is Trump not sending folks out of this country because of a so-called gang affiliation? Or they're not rounding folks up? Is ICE not just walking down the road in plain clothes? And if you're a Latino or if you look like you from another country, ICE can grab you and put you in a holding cell and hold you there for how long? Anton, sooner or later, once they get rid of all the Latino folks, guess who were they going to send to them jails next? They can't deport you because legally you're an American, but they can say ship you off to a fucking prison.
Oh, and they got the contracts with Venezuela and probably Cambodia. Send people to.
As long as, and you think them folks won't accept that money from the United States? Yeah, send us all your prisoners. We'll take care of them. We know we're going to get plenty of money from the U.S. for it. Plenty of money. Let's continue with this clown. Out of the inkwell comes Anton the Clown, the dumbest man who ever came to town.
And again, I can't stress this enough. This isn't a black thing. This is a behavior thing. Some of my closer friends are black, and I love and appreciate them. And
there we go. When you hear that, folks, when you hear a white man say some of my closest friends are black, I guarantee you he ain't got one black friend. First of all, said this then, said 2016, 2017, 2018, wherever we've talked before, I've never called my friends a color. I called a friend by their name. If only reason that would distinguish, I would distinguish two friends if they both had the same name. And somebody, if me and you was hanging out and we had a friend named John, and we had a black friend named John and a white friend named John, that would be the only time I would distinguish them two, because you would ask me, which John you talking about? And I would say, oh, the brother this time. Right? That's the only other time. A friend is somebody you call by their name, not by their color.
That guy probably wish he had a black friend. If he probably had a black friend, he probably wouldn't be making posters like this.
Okay. Because if he did have a black friend would have told him, no, this ain't it here, bro. This ain't it.
I'm very thankful that they have not allowed the crappy behavior on a son to drag them down. Well, I hope you're having a great day.
And I'll tell you this, there's some crappy white people, there's some crappy black people, but because I'm black, I'm expected to tolerate the behavior of those that is less than stellar. You know, I'm supposed to, I got a security guard inside of my building. And every day this guy, you know, he fails to do his to represent ourselves, not other people, not America, yourself, your own family, your own household, in a better light. They're now lashing out at white people and black people such as myself, saying that I'm a part of the boot. What? I don't know. I have no clue.
Yeah, because you don't have an answer for that, because you are what you are. We are absolutely right. If you can sit on your platform and repeat what that white man said with no what word am I looking for here? Just like if it's 100% right, you are part of the problem, Anton. You are that yes boss. That's why you catch flack. I'm not the only one that thinks this way about you, Anton Daniels. If y'all don't believe me, go and type in Anton Daniels verses on your YouTube stream and see how many other brothers call him out. See how many other brothers call him a Sambo. I see. I told y'all I was having a conversation with some folks the other night. Go back a little bit into his history. Since he likes calling out people's flaws, I'll call your flaw out. Go out before he got those veneers. Anton, them shits don't fit your mouth, bro. You gotta speak to a certain point there so that Damon Dash effect won't happen to you. That them fuckers won't come flying out your mouth. You have to do that. Let's continue with this. We got one more segment here, then we're about to get this up, Sid.
Whatsoever. I put on my pants one leg at a time. I take care of business just like everybody else. And, you know, it's a thing that we have to be a little bit more mindful about so that we can be better. But the first thing that we have to do is we got to have a conversation. The second thing that we have to do is we have to admit that it is a problem. And then the third thing that we have to do is hold ourselves accountable as a result of it. And if you're not a person that is offended by it, chances are you are a person that take care of business. But the hit dogs holler, and that's usually how you can identify the people that's the bad actors. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. I always like to give.
Please be honest with me. Are you a member of a what?
Okay, this is our last little segment here. Anton, Angry Man, and for all you loose niggas that's talking about black fatigue and you're allowing it to be hijacked, this is what we mean, black people mean by black fatigue. We are tired of listening to white folks talk about us like this. We are tired of white folks thinking that America belongs only to you. We're tired of hearing white folks say, go back to Africa. I can't go back to Africa because I wasn't born there. I have no connection to Africa other than the ancestors that I would look up later on. I am a part of the United States of America. I am who I am, for good, bad, or whatever. This is my homeland. This is what we're tired of, people acting like we're immigrants. This is what black fatigue is, not being able to step to the head of the line or being purposely pushed back because of our color. Banks won't give us fair loans. Insurance companies won't insure us fairly. Y'all think that we are the number one perpetrators of crime. And in every statistics here in the United States, folks, white men lead. They lead in grape. They lead in SA. They lead in unaliving. They lead in drug sales. They lead in blue-collar crimes. They lead in white-collar crimes. In every statistic, the only statistic that these white men that I'm referring to don't lead in is conviction.
That's right.
Back in the 80s and the 90s, if a black man had 2 rocks of cocaine, he was guaranteed 20 years. If a white man had a brick of pure cocaine, he might have got 5 years and a slap on the wrist. Anybody want to challenge that?
No, that's very true. That's very true. They gave you more time if you had actually cooked it than if it was raw or in straight brick form. Yeah.
That's right.
You know, I've been watching The Godfather of Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm seeing a lot of parallels in this and what I was watching on this show. So I encourage everybody, if you can watch that show, watch it, because you'll see a lot of this stuff being regurgitated now that they was dealing with back then. I know there was a TV show and some of it is fiction, but a lot of it was based on truths, and especially how they treated black people back then. So
right, and folks only think that it may have been a little bit more prevalent in the South, but believe me, racism was in the North too. Indiana, New York. Racism is not only located in the South, folks. No, sir.
And I'm gonna tell you, and for all my people that's from Chicago, I was born and raised in Chicago, so we know it. You knew if you crossed the viaduct, you was in a whole nother neighborhood.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, so especially over there by Comiskey Park, where the old Comiskey Park used to be at, it's called Bridgeview. You could not be black, even until the 90s. You could not be black and walk down 35th, 36th, 37th, 38th, 31st, 32nd, 33rd, none of them streets.
Okay.
On that side of the tracks.
And you're not hearing that. You're not hearing that from me, folks. You're hearing that from somebody that lived there. And I lived in the country. He lived in the city. But we had to do one thing in common, don't we, Sid? There's some places you couldn't go without some bad happening to you.
That's right.
But this next final clip here, folks, this is what we're talking about. This describes what we're talking about as black fatigue. This was the purpose of this book, because this is how, whether you want to agree or disagree with it, please show me the numbers to where I'm wrong. But this is how the majority of America speaks. Listen.
Right-wing, white fringe group.
I know people and I hang out with the people.
Okay,
and
so okay, that was fair enough. So I want to ask you, there's a reason why I asked that. I hear you.
Different things. And,
okay, fine. I don't know what, okay, you know a lot of white supremacists. I get it. So now here's my next question. Here's my next question.
We're preaching good things.
Okay, I'm sure you are. Here's the next question. If that's your name, what does Make America Great Again mean to you?
Well, it's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it?
No, it isn't. Why don't you tell me? I want you to explain it to me. I want to pick your brain.
We're going to bring back how America used to be. We are going to bring back white supremacy. We're going to bring back white order.
You want to bring back white?
Anton Daniels, Angryman. This is what y'all was just covering for. They're going to bring back white supremacy and they're going to bring back white order. This is how these folks talk. Again, I'll go ahead and use the disclaimer. I'm not speaking to all white folks, but I'm speaking to those white folks that think exactly what we're hearing right now. We need to bring back white supremacy and we need to bring back white order.
You want to bring back white supremacy? Is that what you just said? Did I hear you right?
Absolutely.
So Make America, thank you for being honest. So Make America Great Again to you means bringing back white supremacy.
We're going to bring it back and we're going to make this country great again like it used to be.
If you don't mind me asking you, Adolf, is that why you voted for Donald Trump? Because you want to bring back white supremacy? Is that one of the reasons why you voted for Donald Trump?
Hell yeah.
Well, I appreciate your honesty.
Now, Anton, an angry man, you two were one of those guys, along with a whole lot of these other loose niggas on the YouTube street, saying that the only reason that black people was going to vote is because they was going to vote Vice President Harris because she was black. Nothing else, nothing more. But now you hear it from white folks. The only reason that some of them voted for Donald Trump, one reason only. So what's that tell you? That they really think about Donald Trump, Anton, angry man. But y'all, Anton, you have a daily ball toting session for MAGA. You have a nightly ball roasting session where you take Donald Trump's balls and you cup them in your hands and you keep them nice and warm for him until his old ass get up in the morning. Talking about how great the tariffs was going to be. Talking about a whole lot of black folks was going to lose their jobs for sitting around doing nothing. Talking about Donald Trump was going to make this country great again. So Anton, an angry man, I'll ask both of you dumbass niggas, how's it feel to agree with a white supremacist?
I don't think they have a problem with it.
They don't.
I don't think they have a problem with it at all.
They don't, Sid. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. They don't have a problem with it.
And if they think they're going to make America great under Donald Trump's leadership, and the way things is going,
Well, actually, I do have one more clip said. So after I'll let this run through, and I got one more clip to grab. And since you said that how when you said maggot, that reminded me. I got one more clip after this, so I'm gonna run this, and then we'll run one more clip, and then we'll close out. All right.
All right.
So you want to make America white. So that was my question. Make America great again. Does it mean make America white again?
Absolutely.
It does.
Okay. Why would we not want to have our country be how it used to be when it was great, when we were back in control?
So do you think it was great when black people were owned as slaves and women couldn't vote? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I'm not going back that far. I wasn't around, but, in my earlier years, it was great.
Why was it great? What was different in your I don't know how old you are, sir, but what was great in your earlier years, besides the claiming that you support white supremacy, which is bigoted and racist in nature, which I find very troubling but not shocking? What back in your earlier days was so great that's changed now for the worse? Can you explain that to me?
We had whites with the jobs. We had whites being able to support their family.
Well, how come whites aren't able to support their family now?
Yes. Well, no. A lot of them, black people took our jobs.
Were you?
Yeah, he was. He was about to use the N-word. That tells you how frequently they use it. And that's what the point is, folks. White folks are not mad about jobs. They're just mad because, listen, if you are a white person in this country and you can't get a job, that's on you. That is your damn fault. Everything is stacked in your favor. Everything is stacked in your favor. If you're a broke-ass white man in this country, that's your fault. That is your fault. There was nothing put in place for white folks not to achieve. There was nothing put in place for white folks to achieve generational wealth. There was nothing put in place to stop white folks from being educated. Bet you can't say that about black folks, Angryman and Anton Daniels. Say it.
I'm just still. Well, you know what? It brings me to a point that I've always made, and that is that, the Republican Party since the 60s, when they came out of the Dixiecrat era and they all became Republicans, they got power from telling poor white people, oh yeah, the reason why you can't make it is because the blacks got the jobs.
That's right.
The Hispanics got the jobs.
That's
what I'm saying? And what a lot of people don't understand, and it's coming out if you open your eyes, all this stuff is coming into fruition.
That's
and
right.
in chaos, you can still see, as long as they got all of us fighting amongst each other, look at what they're doing. Look how many crimes Trump has gotten away with.
Absolutely, sir. Literal.
Look at all of that. But we still sit up here talking about black versus white. No, what people don't understand is that the color is not white. The color is green.
Say that again.
The color is green. That's why you got the Kanyes and you got some of these rich black people all up in Trump's, all up in his face. I'm not going to even say his ear because he fucking them too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And until we all wake up, and it's a few people that's starting to wake up and see that. But as a collective and as a whole, until we wake up, the next person like Trump that come along
gonna be worse.
Look at everything Trump did wrong, and do it right. And
that's exactly it. What Trump didn't achieve on his first term, he's now getting away with on his second term.
And whatever he don't get away with, because he's not going to have a third term. But somebody's going to take this playbook, and they're going to do it the right way. And there ain't going to be nothing nobody can do about it.
All right. And for our last clip here, folks, now you hear Anton and Angryman, the white guy, and you hear so many of these other folks saying America is the greatest country on this planet, right? Yep. The greatest country. Well, I don't know if you folks know the actor Jeff Daniels, but I think he has something else to say about that. Let me go pull that clip up, And y'all hold on just 1 second. Let me pull this up. And this is up be our last cover for the day. Then we'll get on up out of here. Where you at there, Jeff? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where's it at? Oh, I thought I got it, but I didn't. Yeah, I did. Nope. There it is. Yeah, it is. All right, folks, our last clip of the evening. Again, thank y'all so very much for hanging out with us here. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll never ask you for any monetaries, but just sharing and subscribing goes a long way into the algorithms. Hopefully, it'll get passed on to some other folks that say, you know what, my man, Mr. DJ Music, and my partner here, DJ Dreadhead, said them two fellas made some sense today. But again, you hear it all the time, folks, to where they say America is the greatest country in the world, right? Listen to what Jeff Daniels says.
Hi, my name is Jenny. I'm a sophomore, and this is for all three of you. Can you say in one sentence or less what, you know what I mean? Can you say why America is the greatest country in the world?
Diversity and opportunity.
Lewis? Freedom and freedom. So let's keep it that way.
Will? The New York Jets. No, I'm going to hold you to an answer on that. What makes America the greatest country in the world? Well, Lewis and Sharon said it. Diversity and opportunity and freedom and freedom.
I'm not letting you go back to the airport without answering the question.
Well, our Constitution is a masterpiece. James Madison was a genius. The Declaration of Independence is, for me, the single greatest piece of American writing. You don't look satisfied.
One's a set of laws and the other's a declaration of war. I want a human moment from you. What about the people? Why is America
Not the greatest country in the world, Professor. That's my answer.
You're saying...
Yes.
Let's talk about...
Fine. Sharon, the NEA is a loser. Yeah, it accounts for a penny out of our paycheck, but he gets to hit you with it anytime he wants. It doesn't cost money. It costs votes. It costs airtime and column inches. You know why people don't like liberals? Because they lose. If liberals are so fucking smart, how come they lose so goddamn always? Hey, and with a straight face, you're going to tell students that America is so star-spangled awesome that we're the only ones in the world who have freedom? Canada has freedom. Japan has freedom. The UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Australia, Belgium has freedom. So 207 sovereign states in the world, like 180 of them have freedom.
All right.
And yeah, you, sorority girl, just in case you accidentally wander into a voting booth one day, there's some things you should know. And one of them is, there is absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy, 178th in infant mortality, 3rd in median household income, number 4 in labor force, and number 4 in exports. We lead the world in only 3 categories: number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of adults who believe angels are real, and defense spending, where we spend more than the next 26 countries combined, 25 of whom are allies. Now, none of this is the fault of a 20-year-old college student, but you nonetheless are, without a doubt, a member of the worst generation ever. So when you ask what makes us the greatest country in the world, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yosemite?
What can you say to that? Because we're not the greatest country in the world. We're not number 1 in literacy. The only thing that we lead the country in is defense spending and putting people in jail. That's what makes America great. That's all we lead the world in, folks. Go and look at this movie called 13th. The first voice that you hear is Barack Obama's. saying that year after year after year, this country, this place that they call the greatest country on earth, per capita, locks up more of its citizens than any other free nation in the world. Any other free nation in the world. We don't lead in literacy. We're behind it. We don't infant mortality. We're close to the top of that rung. But one thing that we do lead the pack in, that Jeff Daniels forgot to mention, this country leads the world in racism. This country was founded on racism. It was built on racism. It was built on the backs of black folks. It is what it is. And you have these Sambos like Anton Daniels and Angryman and any of these other loose niggas that will come on and tell you that white folks is right when they complain about black fatigue. That white folks got to be right to be mad at black people when we complain about the systematic injustice they have put on our children, on us, and possibly our grandchildren.
Oh.
Y'all think times is rough right now? Wait till about 6 months from now, when the docks have dried up and the stores have dried up.
6 months. I think them docks gonna be dried up within the next 2 months. Walmart is already saying that they finna raise prices. Trump then called out Walmart. Walmart said, "F you, we not Amazon. We gonna tell the people what it is. This is why you're gonna be paying $25 for a carton of eggs, $700 for a 32-inch TV." You know what I'm saying? Because this is what they want. This is what they want.
I agree wholeheartedly with what you said. Can you folks still hear me? I don't see us on the screen. Do you see me?
Yeah, I see. Wait, no, I don't see you.
I don't know what happened. But anyway, let me go ahead and we'll get ready to close this out. Said I'll give you some closing statements here, and we'll close this out here in just a second.
All right.
Go right ahead.
Well, I enjoyed the show. Like I said, I've been hearing it, but I wasn't really following the black fatigue situation. But now that I'm aware of it, I'm gonna be paying a lot of attention to it from here on out. And I'm praying for everybody because things are about to get really, really bad to levels that we have never seen before. So with that being said, you guys be safe and keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, and remember, we got to fight. We have to fight.
Absolutely,
on all levels.
Absolutely, and I think this is why they came. This is why they hijacked the term black fatigue. They said it's because for the most part, what's going on right now, black folks have sat out. You hear the Latinos saying, "Why y'all not helping us?" You hear the white women saying, "Why y'all not helping us? Why y'all being quiet?" So they got to figure out a way to get us involved. Could you think of a better way to get us involved?
Well, everybody's gonna be involved, but that was one of the things with that march that they had, and it was just told to black people, stay home. Stay home, because when the police come, they're not gonna arrest the white people, they're gonna arrest y'all, us.
Okay.
So let that be. That was a warning shot, and
that was
definitely
absolutely is. Well, folks, we're gonna get on up out of here. Said again, we got to do this again. I know you got to get ready for your show tonight, folks. If you like to come on over to Classic R&B Jams. I don't know what type of music you'll be featuring tonight, Said, but it's always good. And,
I'm rocking the old school, baby.
Okay, yeah, well,
old school.
folks
70s, 80s, and 90s.
70s, 80s, and 90s is what my man is doing tonight. So if you folks want to, we got an interactive chat room. You can come in and sit with us there, or we have several other links that you can listen to on your mobile phone or your movement device. So with that, folks, we're gonna get on up out of here. Again, thank y'all so very much. Again, like, share, and subscribe if you don't mind. And like I always say, folks, if you leave me a nasty gram, expect one back. That's all. That ain't too hard, is it? That we out here.
Look, all you motherfuckers been snitching for him and shit. Now you standing up in here and goddamn it talking about preaching preacher. Fuck that nigga. Fuck that. I'm gonna shoot your ass too, motherfucker. Keep on. You gonna get shot too, nigga. You gonna get shot. God bless the fool, goddammit. God bless the fool. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna end this goddamn thing. Look, where's that goddamn money bowl at? Who got that money bowl? We taking that money right now before you leave this bitch. We ain't leaving out here for free, motherfucker. Yeah. Y'all know the motherfucker ain't no good. You want, look,